Senate is about Nigeria and Nigerians. What is happening now in that region should be of concern to all humanity.
As Israeli-Palestinian war takes its toll on humanity, senators call for ceasefire.
Drug abuse is a menace to our society, and if we don't deal with it now, it will deal with us.
And Senate pledges support to NDLEA in its fight against drug abuse and trafficking. Good to have you join us on yet another episode of Inside the Senate, your window into the activities of the Red Chamber of the National Assembly. I am your anchor, Aisha Muhammad Ahmed. Last week, senators in a motion called for a ceasefire in the Israeli-Palestinian war, which has led to the loss of lives and property in the warring regions. In another development, the Senate committee received the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, at the National Assembly and pledged its support to the agency in tackling drug and narcotics trafficking and abuse in the nation. Report of these events, alongside other happenings in the Red Chamber of the National Assembly, make up this episode of the program. Do stay with us.
Promote the unity, happiness, and prosperity of Nigeria.
The Defense Industries Corporation of Nigeria Act Repeal and Reenactment Bill 2023.
And this act should be supported by all.
There are issues that we must use this opportunity to critically address.
We accord this motion the urgency and the necessity it requires.
I rise the second motion.
The ayes have it.
Welcome back. During the week under review, the Senate, among other things, considered some bills for first reading as well as some motions. Let's take highlights of these activities in our first report on the program. Keep watching.
During the week under review, the Senate during plenary considered a number of bills for first reading. They include Electricity Amendment Bill 2023, sponsored by Senator Banigo Ikbalibo Hari; Cassava Flour Mandatory Inclusion into Flour Production Bill 2023, sponsored by Senator Saliu Mustafa; Federal University of Medicine and Medical Sciences Kaduna State Establishment Bill 2023, sponsored by Senator Usman Lawal Adamu; 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria Alteration Bill 2023, sponsored by Senator Okpeyemi Michael Bamidele; and Nigerian Mines Rangers Service Establishment Bill 2023, sponsored by Senator Onawo Mohammed Ogoshi. Moving on to motions, the Senate entertained a motion on the urgent need to curtail the practice of undisclosed admissions and other unwholesome practices by JAMB and universities, particularly the University of Nigeria, Nsukka. It was sponsored by Senator Nwebonyi Onyeka Peter.
That the authorities of tertiary institutions in cohorts with some JAMB officials have reverted to the practice of provisional admissions into prized professional courses like medicine and surgery, pharmacy, law, engineering, nursing sciences, etc., with a view to shortchanging some students already offered admission in exchange for gratification.
Very grave.
There were contributions by some of the lawmakers.
We know the JAMB registrar, and I really am surprised that such a weighty allegation can be made against JAMB. I also know the Vice Chancellor of the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, and these are men that I have a lot of respect, and I can vouch for their integrity. So I think, sir, that in conclusion of my remarks, that we may rather follow the path of making sure that everybody is heard.
Before now, JAMB only conduct exams for universities, as stated in the motion. Now it is combined exam for all the universities, and no child will apply for college of education or polytechnic when it comes to exams. Everybody applies to university. And at the end, when they didn't get, they will go and make a transfer And that's why there's pressure. The people that even are qualified for admission into medicine and other courses that are very important in this country are not getting the admission. I think we need to look at this holistically. It's not only one institution, but the entire institution and the JAMB itself and the way they conduct their exams.
Prayer for the motion was for the Senate to investigate the allegations by referring the motion to the Committees on Tertiary Institutions and TED Fund and Ethics, Privileges and Public Petitions. The motion was voted on and adopted.
Those in support of the motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Also aware that many of these accidents.
Senator Idiat Oluranti Adebule from Lagos West Senatorial District also moved the motion on the urgent need to mandate schools to locate their crèche and nursery classes on the ground floors of their high-rise buildings and implement safety protocols. The motion became necessary following the incident involving a toddler, David Etim Udo, who on the 24th of October 2023 fell from a school high-rise building at Emerald International School, Aba, Abia State, and died.
Accidents do occur, including falling from multi-floor buildings in our schools, resulting in injuries, temporary or permanent disabilities, in some cases, death. Also aware that many of these accidents may not have been reported appropriately to the supervisory state authorities to cause the activation of necessary investigation and possible sanctions. The ultimate is for investigation to cause state policy direction that will permanently prevent the occurrence of these heinous accidents.
Prayers for the motion were to urge the Nigerian police to immediately commence a thorough investigation into the circumstances surrounding the fall and subsequent death of Master David Udo. Also urge the federal and state ministries of education to compel schools nationwide to relocate their crèche and nursery classes to the ground floor or bungalow within school premises. Further urge the federal and state ministry of education to immediately conduct a risk assessment in all school infrastructures in Nigeria to identify hazards and vulnerabilities and timeously identify means to mitigate such hazards, and equally urge the federal and state ministry of education to enforce safety protocols in schools as enshrined in the National Policy on Safety, Security and Violence-Free Schools and issuing its implementation guidelines. Some lawmakers expressed their support for the motion.
You find facilities that are not meant to be used as schools being converted to serve as school without recourse to the rules that guide, the establishment of schools. And I think it's the fault of the authorities in the first place to allow anyone to use any facility to be used as school.
It is not only in schools that we have this type of negligence in our designs. What we are suffering here in this country is lack of control, development control, design approvals. Before you can erect any building, the architect will do his work according to specification.
Accidents of this nature do not have party colors. They do not have religious colors. It is like the rain. It falls on every roof and any roof. And so all of us must rise up to occasion and very effectively represent our people by ensuring that our regulators live up to their responsibility, by ensuring that school structures are designed properly, and especially that our future generations are protected.
I do hope that with these resolutions of the Senate today, that state governments, the federal and others, including private schools, will see the need to implement safety procedures in their various institutions to avoid untimely death of our future generation.
The motion was voted on, adopted, and the minute's silence was observed in honor of the late toddler, Master David Udo.
In perfect peace. Amen.
The Jewish community accepted the plan.
Another motion which garnered much support by the lawmakers was one co-sponsored by Senator Kawu Sumaila and Senator Adamu Alero alongside 4 others. It was on the urgent need to call for a ceasefire in the ongoing Israeli-Palestinian war.
There has been horrifying and horrendous figures of casualties from both sides. These figures include number of people that have been displaced, schools that have been destroyed, hospitals, churches, mosques that have also been destroyed from both sides. Ambulances and industrial areas have also been attacked. I do not want to go into the figures, but the figures, Mr. President, distinguished senators, are horrifying.
Prayers for the motion were to urge the federal government of Nigeria to, as a matter of urgency, take necessary steps in conjunction with the United Nations to end the conflict and save lives and property of innocent women, children, and humanity in general. Urge the federal government of Nigeria to press for two-state solution as a panacea for the permanent resolution of the Israeli-Palestinian crisis as agreed by the United Nations. The motion enjoyed robust debates from the lawmakers.
A two-state solution had been proposed and accepted, but one side said they don't want to accept, and the other side says they want to protect themselves. But the point is, the world knows that an eye for an eye will lead to everybody not having any eye at all. And so I join in calling for the swift and quick resolution of this conflict.
And the concern of the people all over the world is that this conflict can spread, but we don't want to spread. And that's why this motion is very, very important. What we are calling for is for a ceasefire immediately. I support what Senator Abaribo said. The concept of eye to an eye should not be something that should be embraced.
It's not all about who is right or who is wrong. But we are talking about the killings of the children and women, defenseless, on both sides is condemnable. So what I feel a country like Nigeria, in Africa, when we also give our voice out, calling for peace, I don't think there is anything wrong in doing that.
Senate President Godswill Akpabio also lent his voice to the motion.
This issue is a very important issue. If you see an ambulance passing in front of your house, you will continue to play your draft. But if it is your child or your wife that is inside, there is no way you will continue. You jump up and run. What is happening now in that region should be of concern to all humanity. So we are discussing something so serious. It's not something that we joke about. I witnessed the Nigerian Civil War in 1967 to 1970, and I know what happened. I don't want to talk about it here. My family suffered. My uncles were tied to vehicles, and then they used it like a circus until their body parts got strewn all over the street, and they died. Many of us became homeless as children. Not to talk of those that are not alive today. In their millions. But other parts of Nigeria were going to school. We came back from the war. Every account holder was given only £2. I had an uncle who was the deputy premier at the time and minister of internal affairs, with thousands of pounds in his account and only £2 given to the family, with koshoko, with homelessness. Now, when we are discussing something that is so serious as loss of properties and children being murdered we should take it seriously as a Senate. That's why I want to thank all of you for this resolution, and may God grant us peace.
The motion was voted on and adopted.
Those in support say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Those were highlights of activities from the Senate plenary for last week. Let's now take a break to open the Senate notebook. Keep watching.
A public hearing is an interactive session organized by legislative committees on any subject matter for the purpose of sharing ideas, x-raying issues, and resolving conflicts around the subject matter. The matter could be a proposed bill that has scaled second reading or a motion referred to the committees for more legislative action. Interested members of the public along with the stakeholders may participate in the public hearings, at the end of which reports are compiled by the committees and submitted to the Senate for necessary action.
You're still watching Inside the Senate, a program that brings you activities of the Red Chamber of the National Assembly and its members. Sequel to an invitation by the Senate Committee on Drugs and Narcotics on Tuesday, 7th October 2023, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, led by its Director General, Brigadier General Buba Marwa, retired, and his team paid a familiarization visit to the committee at the National Assembly. While welcoming the visitors, Chairman of the committee, Senator Ibrahim Hassan Dankwambo, said the meeting was to get acquainted with the agency so as to identify its areas of challenges.
We need to know the people we will be working with, what they do and how we will assist them. But from the first meeting we had from the committee members, I want to assure you that the members are fully committed to working going forward. And everybody that spoke that day assured us that he will contribute and do his best towards promoting and eradicating or limiting the use of drugs and narcotics in Nigeria.
In his remark, the NDLEA boss highlighted the negative impact of drugs and narcotics abuse on the entire nation.
There is no greater problem facing the Nigerian people today greater than drug abuse. It is our greatest single challenge. Families, communities, young people and old men and women, indeed the very fabric of our society is daily being destroyed by drug abuse. Insecurity is daily being aggravated by drug abuse. Rapists, murderers, assassins, insurgents, terrorists, kidnappers, bandits, indeed all forms of criminals, they all use drugs.
Yeah.
Unless we address the drug challenge, this nation is doomed.
According to Marwa, the 2018 Drug Use Survey produced by Nigeria and the United States Office on Drugs and Crimes shows that 14.4% of Nigerians between the ages of 15 and 64 have used drugs in the previous year, which is about 3 times of the global average.
Indeed, the 2021 World Drug Report predicted that drug use prevalence is expected to rise by 11% globally, but 40% in Africa. In Nigeria, I can quickly share the zonal statistics. The drug prevalence in the Southwest zone is 22.4%. In the South-South, it is 16.8%. In the Southeast, it is 13.8%. In the Northeast, it is 13.4%. In the Northwest, it is 12%. And in North Central, it is 10%.
The DG also highlighted needs and challenges of the NDLEA to include low strength of personnel, inadequate welfare and insurance for personnel, lack of barracks for personnel, amongst others. Responding, Deputy Chairman of the committee, Senator Osita Ngwu.
Whatever support that you need from our side, we're all passionate. Drug abuse is a menace to our society. And if we don't deal with it now, it will deal with us. So whatever support we are going to give, we are going to wholeheartedly give it to you so that we'll continue this fight to eradicate drugs from our streets and make our youth useful. So thank you very much and keep it up, sir.
Such cordial relationships between the legislature and MDAs can only bring good dividends and development for Nigeria. Up next on the program is our profile segment. Please continue watching as we introduce our featured Senator of the Week.
Senator Asuko Ekpenyong is the senator representing Cross River South Senatorial District in the 10th Senate. He was elected into the Senate on the platform of the All Progressives Congress (APC). Born on August 25, 1985, Senator Asuko Ekpenyong attended King's College, Lagos, from where he proceeded to the University of Reading in the United Kingdom, graduating with a bachelor's degree in economics. He immediately capped it with a master's degree in international banking and financial services, earning the only distinction of his graduating year at the University of Reading. Thereafter, he attended the prestigious Harvard Business School. He also completed several other courses and holds certificates from Howard University in the United States and from the University of Pretoria in South Africa, among many others. Returning to Nigeria in 2009, Senator Asuko Ekpenyong started Ikwasu Limited, which today has become the biggest indigenous logistics services provider in Cross River State, serving major industries in Nigeria, which include Lafarge Africa PLC, Flour Mills of Nigeria PLC, Indorama Eleme Petrochemicals, etc. Over the years, he served as the Managing Director of the Central Bank of Nigeria Licensed Chamli Bureau de Change Limited and as the Finance Director of Pearland Energy Limited. In 2013, he was appointed a member of the Board of Directors of Oekondo Microfinance Bank Limited and has served on several critical board committees, including the Credit, Establishment, Audit, Finance and General Purposes Committees. From February 2016 to April 2017, he was saddled with a concurrent responsibility when he was also appointed as the Managing Director of the Premier Tinapa Business and Leisure Resort. Subsequently, he was detailed to concurrently superintend over the State Ministry of Transportation in 2018 and served on the Debt Review and Special Projects Committee in 2019. Driven by his passion to teach and eager to share his knowledge, Senator Asuko Ekpenyong joined the Faculty of Management Sciences at the University of Calabar as a lecturer in the Department of Banking and Finance in 2010. Senator Asuko Ekpenyong was appointed to serve as the Honorable Commissioner of Cross River State from November 2015 to March 2022. During this period, he also served as Commissioner for Transport and Marine Services between 2018 and 2019. He resigned his appointment on March 2022 before contesting for election as Senator representing Cross River South Senatorial District on the platform of the All Progressives Congress (APC), an election which he won. His legislative interests include youth development, fiscal responsibility, and the development of the Niger Delta region. He is currently the chairman of the Committee of Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC) in the 10th Senate.
This brings us to the end of this week's edition of Inside the Senate. Join us next week for another edition, and don't forget to communicate your questions and opinion via any of our feedback channels. See you next time, and thanks for watching.